Hi everybody. A lot nicer environment in here. No rain, no cold weather. We're inside the world famous popcorn truck. And I just wanted to go over a couple things again. Be it that I'm a Canadian, that I'm now an American entrepreneur and popcorn maker. And I actually came to the United States and I got all my education here from high school right through to university. I actually moved to the United States to pursue a tennis career. After university, I was in the clothing business for. I'm skipping ahead a little bit. After a semi-successful tennis career, not as a pro, but as a high school, college, and university NCAA Division I player. I was in the clothing business for a little over 10 years. When that ended, I was looking for something new to do, and I walked into a mall in Canada, in Toronto, a little small mall. They had this little popcorn store, and I went up to it, and they had a lot of neat little flavors. And I said, give me some salt and vinegar, some caramel, and some plain salted. And they were going to put it in a little bucket for me. It was almost like a kid's sand pail, that small. And they came to me and they said, that'll be $22, sir. And I said, $22? I said, come again? $22? They said, yeah, it's gourmet popcorn, $22. Paid the bill. Actually ran to my mother with it and said, I know what I'm going to do, Mom. I'm going to go to the United States. I'm going to open popcorn stores, or a popcorn store, or a popcorn business. I'm going to sell popcorn all over the United States. And she said, oh, that'll be great, dear. Good luck to you, and I'm sure you're going to do very well. I love you, and I hope everything is good. So I packed up my bags, and I actually first came up with a concept, designed the concept, and I thought I'd go and, the place I loved best was Miami and Miami Beach because I was a tennis player. And seeing that I went to high school in Florida, I thought, I'll go and I'll solicit this, all the area. And I thought stadiums would be a great fit because, they have lots of concessions in stadiums, and popcorn's one of their top items. So I went down there and I was soliciting it to a lot of people, not realizing that popcorn is actually a core item for a lot of these companies. They make a lot of their money, so I had to come up with something different. And I did. I had a gourmet flavored popcorn concept, and I went around, shopped it all around. The last person I went to, I won't say his name now, but he was working for Aramark Sports Services at the time. And actually, I don't mind saying it. His name was Reggie Davis. And I went to him, showed him the concept, asked him told him I'm really green. If you could just give me 5 minutes of your time. He said, sure. And went there, and he said, but I've got nowhere to put you right now. So that was my last attempt at getting the popcorn in somewhere. I went to 4 or 5 places before that. Went back to Toronto with my tail between my legs, and about 4 to 5 months later, my friend actually in Miami, where I was staying, got a phone call, and he called me up in Toronto and said, Dave, somebody's calling you, but it's, I think it was 713. It was a 713 area code, which was Houston, Texas. And I said, I don't know anybody in Houston, Texas. I only know one person in Houston, Texas, a girl that I went to high school with. I said, apart from that, I don't know anybody. Well, it's a guy and he's looking for you. I ended up calling the number up, and it happened to be this Reggie Davis, and he said he was now in charge of the Houston Astrodome and a few other venues in Texas, and he said he'd like to put my popcorn in the Houston Astrodome. Apparently the Astros were going to be moving in 2 years from that date. It was in 1998, and he'd like me to sell my popcorn. Make a long story short, moved down to Texas, started making my popcorn, ended up having 8 stands, 3 inline stands, 3 or 4 inline stands, and 4 cart type operations within the stadium by the end of the season 1. And by doing that, I ended up doing the world's largest rodeo, livestock and rodeo show, all the other events they had at the adjacent center to the Astrodome. And it's funny because the Houston Oilers were my favorite football team growing up, so it was sort of like, I don't want to say a coincidence or a good fit, but it was just something I felt really good about, going to Houston and working and selling my popcorn in the Houston Astrodome. I ended up selling my popcorn to 68,000 fans more than a few times during playoff baseball games and during pack games when McGuire, I believe it was, McGuire was hitting all the home runs with Sammy Sosa. But be that as it may, when that ended, I ended up taking my popcorn business to South Florida, where I ended up staying and, selling my popcorn. I ended up opening up a couple kiosks in different malls, and it was just a really tough go because it's very seasonal in Florida. So I found you had a good 3-4 months, and apart from that, unless you're in the tourist business, travel business, cruise line business, hotel business on the beach, it's a really difficult place to run a business and have all year sales and income. So with that, while I was down there, I ended up making a couple of trips to New York City. And I'm making a long story a little shorter for you. I ended up coming to New York City many times to actually visit a friend here. While I was here, I thought, I'd like to start a business. So I went to a couple people who ended up, I don't want to say the word taking advantage of me, but not actually doing business properly. And I ended up building my own, what I like to say is a real world famous gourmet popcorn truck. And I operated the truck in New York City about the last 3.5-4 years, this particular truck. And